Welcome, everybody. I'm Coach Les, and I'm here with Mr. John Yarwood from Yarwood's Martial Arts, and we are starting episode number 85, Training Past the Pain, Peak Emotional Experience, and what that looks like. So we are going to dive in, and one of the things that we're looking to do with this podcast over the next 30 minutes is really have people start to see one, why martial arts, what can martial arts do to support a person in a training environment, what can martial arts do to support somebody in a home environment, in a business environment, in a spiritual, mental, emotional environment, and what does it look like to push beyond. So I can't wait to dive into this, Mr. Yarwood. I'm going to pass it over so that we can hear a little bit about your Denver World experience and level 6.
So a couple weeks ago, we haven't been on, we've been off 2 weeks now. So 2 weeks ago, I took a trip out to Denver to train with a school out there, school owner, Mr. Martin, and his team from Venture Martial Arts. And he's got 3 big schools out there, and he's kind of responsible for our instructor program in our organization. He's basically responsible for the organization getting started in the first place. He was instrumental in having our Grand Master and his wife start the organization rather than just run their own school. So he plays a big part in that. I've also been in a program with him for over a year and a half, basically learning more about how to run my business, how to make my business thrive, how to grow my business, and it's been very significant in what I've been doing. And one of the things he did is he actually invited us to come out and actually train with his team. And so I took him up on that offer, and I went out there and spent a whole week with his team, and it was awesome. I learned way more than I anticipated I was going to learn beyond just doing the physical training. There was tons of stuff, but the biggest thing I wanted to get into about it was we trained every morning, Monday through Friday, from 7:30 until 10:30. And it was, when I say train, I mean we worked for 3 hours, very little rest, very few breaks. And it was hard. And what was cool about it is there's about 25 of us, and his team took me in as one of their own, as long as I was doing the same work they were doing, right? I wasn't there to observe. I was there to be part of what was going on. So I was out there, and there was also another guy out there, Master Robles, who's from California, who did the same thing. He's part of the same program, so he came out doing the same thing. So he and I were kind of out there doing this thing, and it started out Monday. We got on the mats. I didn't know what to expect with the training. I just got there. I was there early, 7:15. They expect you to be on time. They have high expectations of everybody who's going to be there. They expect you to work when you're there. All that stuff, right? So I'm a big advocate of working hard until I can't work anymore, and then keep working. So I was looking forward to it. So Monday showed up. I got there about 7:15 or so in the morning. We started training 7:30, and we trained for 3 hours. We were doing cardio. We were doing kicking drills, technique drills, forms, sparring, core, push-ups, planks, you name it, we were doing it. And it was hard. It was a lot of work. I was tired by the end, right? And it was one of those workouts that there wasn't any specific drive to it, like we weren't like working on one specific thing. We were just working, mostly cardio, mostly training. And Tuesday morning came along, and I was kind of sore. I'm like, oh man, that was pretty hard. 7:15 I show up, 7:30 we start, same exact workout, another 3 hours, right? Now, mind you, I'm in Minnesota and our elevation is basically sea level. And I was in Denver, which is known
That's
as the Mile
awesome.
High Stadium or Mile High City, which is 5,280 feet up. So I'm having a little bit issues with elevation. So every once in a while, there was a medic there who would every once in a while he's like, "You need to take 2 minutes." So he pull me out. I'd catch my breath and I'd get right back to it. But other than that, it was just go, go, go. Tuesday gets done. In the meantime, during the evening, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm visiting schools. I'm doing business meetings. I'm doing all these things with Mr. Martin, which were all very essential things. But this training itself specifically is what I've been talking about is Wednesday shows up, 7:15, same workout. Consistency, right? By Wednesday, you're dragging. It's hard. Your muscles are sore, everything just hurts, your knees, your hips. People are injured, people are tired, people are this, people that. No complaining, no whining. We start at 7:30, we go. And it just went on every single day. And then Friday shows up, we did a different workout. Instead of doing the cardio training, we ran almost 2 miles from the school to the local high school. When we got to the local high school, we did a timed mile because I have to do the fit test for my 6th degree. So I did a timed mile. So I ran just over 8 minutes in elevation. And then after we got done running the time mile, we ran another 2 miles to the hills to go run hills for 45 minutes. So we were racing up hills. And then we did fireman's carry, so carrying somebody else up the hill while running. Did that for 45 minutes. And then we were done with that. We ran back to the school, which is just under 2 miles. Once we got back to the school, we still had a half-hour training left. So we finished that up. So it was just go, 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 push, 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 right? Your mental was the only thing that kept you going, right? And you get to that point in the training, which was probably Thursday, that it's not a physical thing anymore. Your body is going to do what your mind tells it to do, right? Your body wants to quit, your mind wants to quit, but if you make that decision that you're done, you're done, right? It's that time now where you push past the physical pain, the physical uncomfortability, and you move into that what I call the peak. Well, Master Robles said this, but the peak emotional experience, where now it's something that it's not the physical anymore; it's all up here, right? And you're thinking about, okay, I'm going now. It doesn't matter how much it hurts. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm going to keep going, right? And now you're to the point where you can't be beat because your mind has decided you're not done yet. And that was Thursday, right? Of course, Friday came, same thing, but it was just like those 2 days I was spent more in the mental of really figuring out how much work am I willing to do? How much am I willing to push myself to get where I want to go, right? It was consistent training the entire time. I knew exactly what to expect every single day, so there wasn't any changing of anything, right? So that part was always the same. So I knew every single day, this is what I'm going to do, this is how hard it's going to be, all that. But you finally get to that point where you pass that threshold of pain into the mental, I'm going to just do this, and that's it. And it was eye opening for me because you realize really how much are you willing to put up with, how much can you actually do, not what you think you can do, but what your body knows you can do, what your mind knows you can do. And you turn that switch on and say, I'm just going to keep going, and you go. And it's it's a whole mindset shift of going from this sucks, it hurts, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to be comfortable, I want to take a break, I want to rest, to I'll rest when I'm done, but I'm not done yet, right? It still hurts, it still sucks, it's still painful, you still want to be comfortable, but you just keep going. And it was a huge transformation in terms of going from physically in pain to mentally in control, and it was awesome.
So we're all curious. How did your testing go?
Well, actually, I don't test until July 9th.
Okay.
I'm
How did
leaving. I'm leaving for World Championships on Tuesday,
how
and
did
then
your
I'm testing
how,
Thursday.
how did your prep go for it? Successful?
I'm still doing it. it's been going pretty well. I just I passed my fit test. Um, I had to do form videos and send them in to headquarters. I'm doing other things, just getting everything done. Been training, hitting the mats, hitting the gym. Probably I've been working out, training minimum twice a day for 2 months. So it's been going pretty good.
And how's your back?
Fine, strong, ready to roll. Hips are doing great. Everything's good. So it's I've done everything I can do. I'm just gonna go do my test, and the judges make those decisions, not me. I can only do what I can do.
But you've been the cause of other people going through similar experience that you're going through, and you causing them to break through and win their game. When you look at that and you think about that, how are you doing in the game, and where would you put yourself for the person, i.e., that's coaching you?
So I for me, I haven't even looked at it from that standpoint, right? I don't my goal is not to. I mean, I hope I inspire others. I hope I push people. Um, but ultimately, it's not about that. It's about what I'm doing and pushing myself. And in the wake of what I'm doing, hopefully, other people are inspired and pushed. I can only do so much for them. Just like with me, they have to experience those things. They have to have the discipline, the desire, the want, the need, the experience to do the things that they're going to do. I can only hope that they follow in my footsteps, right? But I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for me. That just becomes a byproduct of what I'm doing. So it's something that, ultimately, obviously, I want to be an inspiration to others. I want to be somebody that, oh man, I want to do what he's doing. I want to find out how he's doing it, what he's doing. But it's not the reason that I'm doing it, right? So it's something that I hope comes through in my actions and how I'm doing things.
Are you able to articulate the reason you're doing it?
Uh
You
that's a
thought
good
tonight
question.
was going to be easy, man.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's
And the reason, and just so you know, the reason I'm asking this of Mr. Yarwood, right, is people leadership lead by example. Does it mean they're flawless? No. Does it mean they always win? No. Does it mean they don't fall and stumble, get grumpy, have issues, have breakdowns, go backwards sometimes before they go forwards? No, it doesn't mean any of that. It means that they're the type of person that has an internal game that they're playing, and I call it a game. It's, some people would say, well, it's not a game. It's like, okay, well, life is a game, and how you play it is the nature of what you get out of the game. And if you have fun at it, you love it, you play hard, you stretch beyond, you do these things that Mr. Yarwood's been talking about, then there becomes an attraction that you see in other people that have that. And it's like tasting a food and going, wow, I want more of that. And then going, I want to be able to create that. I want to own that. I want to be that. And that's what Mr. Yarwood's talking, to me, that's what I hear and see and say. Just like my wife. My wife is like 8% body fat. She the cords, the what I call the blood cord, the veins on her forearms and legs when she comes back from working out continue to drive me to heal, to get stronger, to work, to step up to the plate by that example. So it's one of the reasons I ask Mr. Yarwood, what's at the source of why you want to do this?
Um, I'm 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 a driven person, and when I set out to do something, it's I'm gonna do it, and it's I may fail. More than likely, I probably will along the way several times, but that drive to be better, to learn, to grow, to just excel at something, it's an internal force that I have this weird thing. It's like I struggle to rest. It's one of my weaknesses because I always have my mind is like, you could be working right now, you got some time, let's go work, let's go do something. And to be it's been a challenge to turn those thoughts off. So I have to force myself to rest, and I still sometimes feel guilty about it because like I could be doing something right now. I could be doing something right now. So it's just like this. I don't know. It's like this motor that just keeps going inside of me. That this is something I set my sights on, and once I did that, because a couple years ago, honestly, probably 3 years ago, I didn't care about 6th degree. I didn't care about master. It wasn't in my vision. It wasn't in my future. I was building my school. I was growing my student base. I was helping my students grow, right, and pushing them. And my personal journey through Taekwondo wasn't stalled, but I wasn't focusing on it. It wasn't my drive, right? And I actually started thinking about it that that was actually being selfish because who am I to teach my students and tell them to do all these things to better themselves, to advance in rank, to do all that training, to do all that stuff when I'm just going through the motions myself. And a switch clicked in my head. It's like, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for them, right? And if I'm setting this example of, well, you guys, your goal should be 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, 4th degree, right? Well, shouldn't those be my goals too? Shouldn't I be setting that standard for them by doing it myself versus telling them what they should do? Sure, I'm a 5th degree. I got to 5th degree, but if I'm gonna stop, then why can I say anything to them if they want to stop? So I changed my mindset about that. It's like, sure, it's for me technically because I'm earning my 6th degree. I'm hopefully going to become a master, but it's not about me. It's about what I represent to my students, to the organization that I'm part of. And if I'm going to be telling them what their their goals should be, all that stuff, all that drive they should have, I need to have it first. So that really became when I changed my vision of what I wanted to do for me personally, because now I have more responsibility and accountability to my students, and now my my mission changed in how I was going to go about doing that. So that switch turned on in me, and now the last 3 years I've been busting my butt to get where I am now, and it's cool to hear my students talk about how excited they are for me to become a master. I mean, some of them are more excited than I am. So it's humbling though, but it's nice to know that I am inspiring others, right? Like I said, that wasn't it's the reason and it's not, right? It's not like my main driving force. It's like I need to set the example. So I have to do it. So my drive is me, but ultimately it spreads to them.
Well, and I think the interesting thing about what you're saying, right, is the ability for other people to see you getting inspired about making a difference. And this is the avenue that you've chosen to do that.
It's it's I- what is it? The 1st of July. I'm 8 days away from earning a 6 degree black belt. And it's not something that's I take lightly. I've worked my butt off to get here, but I've also had people invest in me, right? My students invest in me, and I owe it to them to get an ROI on their investment. And if I'm not doing the things that I tell them they should be doing, then they're losing because I'm not giving them what they should be getting. So it ultimately becomes about me living up to the standards that I've set for them, and then them watching me live up to those standards and then following in my footsteps and doing the same and setting their own standards and living up to their own standards.
And that to me is the, quintessentially the, what has led you to be a great leader, an inspiration, and somebody committed to making a difference for other people around you.
Yeah, it's when I sit and actually think about it, it's it actually can be kind of stressful. There's times when it's stressful for sure because I wonder, am I doing the things I'm supposed to be doing well enough for people to want to have me be the leader that I think I want to be, right? Am I being the example that the parents of these children are okay with me being, right? Because these parents are trusting their kids in me, and I take that very seriously. So I need to make sure that what these parents are investing in, what they're giving me, is handled and done properly and done well, and hopefully, you know, they continue to want to do that and they tell others about it because that way I can have influence on more people, on more kids, help them grow into fine young adults, be part of that growth that they're going to have.
And what do you think the impact of all this has on your son, who's clearly following in your footsteps already to be a school owner?
Well, I know because he's told me, he's talked to me about it. We've had several conversations about the impact I've had on his life since he was a little boy, and like conversations that have almost brought me to tears because there are things that he talks about that I didn't even realize I had influenced him on. There's subjects that came up that to me I didn't even it never even crossed my mind. But the way he observes me, the way he watches me, it's like that tells me that even though I failed many times, what I was doing was the right thing for him, and he wants to emulate that. He wants to take what he's learned from me and become. I told him, I said, I want you to be better than me, right? I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. I want you to take what we've built here and move it to another level. I want you to influence twice as many people as I've influenced. That to me is success in what I'm doing, right? It's not how
Yep.
far I get. It's not if I become a master or not, sixth degree or not. That's all fine, but that's not to me the important thing. Is like that I have specifically my son influenced him to the point where he wants to do even better. He wants to take what we've built and bring it even further. And that to me was huge to hear that from him. Because I mean, I had ideas. Sure, I can see things he's doing that are what I taught him. Right? You can see the influence, how he acts, how he deals with people, all that kind of stuff, how he treats people. But to hear him literally come and tell me how I've influenced him in his life, that just like that was it. It was awesome to hear that.
A tear jerking moment.
And then but I see him doing those things, right? He represents what he talks about, what he's learned from me. And I see him doing it better. The way he interacts with students, the way he's interacting with parents, the way he wants to learn about my business, all that stuff. I can see that in him, right? And I just sit back and go, that's freaking awesome.
Yep. And how would you say your wife has that experience as well? I know your wife doesn't practice. She's not.
Right.
She's not a martial artist, but as she watches her son follow this game, right? What's her experience about it?
She's on board because we sat down and we've had several conversations about it. Obviously, when he graduated, was going through high school and stuff, college came up, right?
Yep.
And I I have my own views on college. She has her views on college, and we came to the conclusion, the three of us, that college wasn't for him. That's not what he wanted. He wanted to own a martial arts school. He wanted to do what I'm doing. So we decided as a family how that was going to happen, how it was going to work. We set parameters, we set guidelines. He helped with that because he's very intelligent, he's very smart, he knows what he wants to do, and that was like a an adult moment, right? That threshold got crossed. He went from being our kid who just graduated high school to a kid who's making grown up decisions for his life, for his future, for his career, and he's serious about it, right? He's not just trying to get out of going to school. It's just not what he wants to do. He sees a path already, right? And he's very serious about it. He shows me that he's serious about it because he's doing all the things that he said he was going to do. So my wife sees that and she's like, okay, because she wanted him to go to school. But we all made the family decision that it's not for him. Like maybe somewhere down the road he'll take some classes or whatever, but going to school full time wasn't in the cards for him. That wasn't his deal. And so seeing that and now seeing the result of his decision and that he's doing all the things that he's doing, she's 100% on board with it. She's happy about it because she sees him growing into this young man who's caring. He's respectful, he's intelligent, he's smart, he's consistent, he's got integrity, all that stuff, right? The stuff that she wants in her son. And it's not about if he goes to school or not or any of that kind of stuff. It's what is he going to do, and does he have vision? Does he have a mission? Is he on the path to get where he wants to go?
As far as the future, then with your son, when you look at some of these things from today, right? Brain wanting comfort, body's capable of more, peak emotional experiences, creating change, pain builds identity, leadership through challenge, challenge for listeners. How do you see Mr. James in this experience?
So what I did in Denver the following week, which was last week, we had our competition team had camp. So we had training every day like we did in Denver. It was 2 hours instead of 3, right? So I brought back to them what I did in Denver. Now, the biggest part of what we were doing in Denver is that Mr. Martin was training with us, right? he wasn't telling us how to train, what to do. He was facilitating the training and doing it with us, right? So he was part of what we were doing. He was suffering with us. And
Which is, by the way, the motto, right? The horns are the same way.
yep, yep. And they actually came on Tuesday and trained with us.
Okay.
But it's that leadership style that you aren't telling me what to do. You're doing it with me. You're just facilitating what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So I that's part of what I brought back. And when we started training on Monday, ours was 2 hours, but we did the same exact training. I literally the exact same training with my competition team. Okay. Now our competition team, they're what I trained with out in Denver is their core team. So that's like their staff, that's their top people, right? My competition team is made up of, of students that we James and I chose out of the group that we think are like not just physically capable of being great competitors, but a mindset that they want to work. They step up, they go above and beyond. They're leaders within the school, right? So we actually have a girl, Lily, who is 8 years old, who is on our comp team, and then her dad is, other than me, the oldest on the comp team, and he's in his 40s, right? We had 12 people training, and I literally did the exact same workouts, only condensed a little bit because we did it for 2 hours, right? And I wanted to create that same experience for them that I had, right? I wanted to see how far are they willing to push themselves. And I did the same thing that Mr. Martin did. I just facilitated it, right? But I trained right along with them, and Mr. James trained right along with them. So we weren't just telling them what to do; we were doing it with them, right? And I didn't have to. I didn't say anything to him. He jumped right in and started doing it, right? I didn't say, "Hey, James, we got to train with him." He just did it, right? So it was it to me. I started seeing those characteristics in him that I was looking for because there wasn't like this moment where I was watching him having to say, oh man, he's not going to do it, right? He just jumped in. He did that training. And all my students, from Lily all the way up to Mr. Mike, were all busting their butt, right? There was moments where they were getting really tired, and I could see that. And I was just kind of observing the same way that I was, when I was in Denver. And I told them on Wednesday, I said, tomorrow, I guarantee you is going to be the hardest day of the week. And they're all like, oh, whatever, right? Thursday shows up, and they all showed up, all on time, but you could see it, right? You could see it in their performance. They were physically beat down, but they all still showed up. They all did the work, and they got past the pain and started doing it up here, right? And that's what I was going for with them too, that I learned in Denver. And then also seeing James and step up. I actually had a couple of so we had a couple other adults that were doing it too. We had like a world's picnic thing on Sunday, and one of them told me that we she appreciated that we were training with them. So they saw that where we were doing it with them, not just telling them what to do, right? Unprompted. So I I was getting the result that I was looking for in terms of what I learned in Denver. It was like an experiment out there. Obviously, it's not an experiment for Mr. Martin. That's how he does it. But for me, I wanted to see, can I bring that back to my school and do the same thing and have the same result? And it worked. All these kids, they suffered together, they trained together, they sweat together, they cried together, they got tired together, but they got through it, and they were all like super excited when we got done. So it was really cool to see that same thing manifest itself within my students and all the stuff that they were doing, and including James.
Right. So for me as a coach, what I see inside of that, right, is I see that you've set the stage and you've allowed the pathway to be created for each person to follow your steps
Yep.
and to not mimic, but to discover the same experiences and experiential breakthroughs and transformation that's
Yep.
available through this level of work.
Yep.
It's really
They all
awesome.
said it's the hardest that they've worked.
That is awesome. Well, I'm super excited for you. It sounds like it was uh, a win-win along the way, and I think um, to kind of wrap up tonight here at 35 minutes, the key takeaway is just to share what you've got written here. I think will be self-evident that that's what got discovered in tonight's conversation. Your brain seeks comfort. Your purpose requires growth. Your limits are often mental before they are physical. Peak emotional experiences leave lasting change. Pain is temporary. Character is lasting. And too many times, I think the limits are self imposed on us by our subconscious,
Yep.
saying, wait a minute, we've already had lots of breakthroughs to get to this point. No more change, bueno. No more change, no more change. And then setting that aside and saying, you know what, let's just keep going because it's possible and we can learn what may be potentially on the other side. So
Yep.
congratulations. Thank you for sharing. Tonight's been a great experience and I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
And how long, when you leave on Tuesday next week to go to Worlds?
Yes, sir. We are actually. I'm going to try. We have a couple people who are going to try and live stream my testing. So it'll be the testing starts at 9:30 Mountain Time, so it'll be 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, July 9th. So hopefully it'll be live cast on the Arts Martial Arts Facebook page.
Awesome.
We're trying to get that done.
Well, there you go. Um, the other thing you can do is Facebook Live
Yep.
as well as YouTube. You know,
Yep. So yeah, we're working on that. We got a couple people who said they can help out with it, so we'll get it done. Hopefully.
excellent. Well, once again, thank you. Any final words before I put in our?
Push through the pain. Physically, emotionally, whatever it is, push through it. Don't let it stop you.
Amen.
Because when you let it stop you once, it's easier and easier every single time. When you push through and you make that emotional breakthrough, the next time you do it, you're like, I got this. It just gets easier and easier. It doesn't make it more fun. It doesn't make it less challenging. It just makes it easier for you to push past the pain because you're still going to experience all the pain, all the heartbreak, all the crap. But when you decide that you're just going to keep going, regardless, it makes it easier to do. You're not going to quit.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And with that, I am going to say cheerio. And here comes the whoops. Here comes the outro, as they call it.